Hey, everybody. It's Miss Tonya. It's Miss Tonya. I am here. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm on the road. Remote location. I'm also noticing that I'm having a little buffering going on. It's not me. It's not me. It's the internet. I can't make it make sense, but it is Make It Make Sense Monday. You hear me? It's Make It Make Sense Monday on the Noontime My Time podcast. This is episode 64, and I'm like, what in the world? Please make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense. Make it make sense to me. And I hope somebody come in here today, and I hope you want to talk about what's going on with the Celtics in Miami. I need somebody to make sense. Somebody need to make it make sense for me. All right? That's what's going on. It's Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day. So it's important that we pay our respects to all of those who served, those who have given their lives so that we can have particular freedoms that we have here. So make sure that you respect the day, respect why you are having this long weekend. And if you can do that, then I don't have a problem with you getting on your grills and having a few ribs and whatever it is that you got going on. If you're having your vacation, enjoying yourself and enjoying your time. There's a reason why we are able to do that. There's a reason for that. So let's give all of our honor and respect to all of those who have served for us and for this country. All right. Now, today's admission for you to get in here and take this ride with me. The admission is some common sense. It's your common sense because we got to make this thing make sense. And you know what this is? I tell you what Make It Make Sense really is about. Make It Make Sense Mondays. What we do here is you get in here with me. You get in here with the listeners. We're just going to have like this conversation and we get engaged in a captivating conversation that kind of dissects like some of the perplexities of topics in life. We do that all in a live stream chat. Yeah, so that's from current events to personal dilemmas. No subject is off limits. So you can share your thoughts, you can ask questions. Let's just make sense of this world. Let's do it together. We're doing that one Monday at a time. So I'm glad that you're here. It's Make It Make Sense Monday on the Noontime My Time podcast. Before we get so deep into the conversation, you know what I like to do here. You know what I like to do. If you don't, let me let you know. Gotta let you know. We get in here and we breathe, we chat, and we grow. That's why we're here. So before we get into the conversation, let's get into a little bit of breath work. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. And I want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? It feels really good. Memorial Day weekend. You guys had a long weekend. Hope you spent some time with your family, your loved ones, or you made sure that you were in an environment where you could get some relaxation in. Also, just enjoy your time off. Enjoy that. Let's make it make sense Monday. I don't know who I'm going to have in the building today because I'm open for conversation. I am. I'm just inviting you to enjoy me and this incredible community that we have here. And let's talk. This is a podcast experience where you get to be interactive. You're a part of that conversation. We're talking about things from, like I said, current events to things that are not making sense to us, things that are making us kind of like say, what the world? What's really going on? Those current events that are making us scratch our heads, some personal dilemmas that we're going through, make it make sense. So bring those topics, share your thoughts, those burning questions that you might have. And we're going to make it make sense on this, whatever's going on in this crazy world around us. We're going to do that together. We're going to have that type of conversation. And I hope that somebody is in here and going to come in here and talk about what's going on with the Celtics. Or should I say, what's going on with Miami? Or is it the Celtics and Miami? Which side are we on? But what is really going on? Somebody make this thing make sense to me. Because I thought it was over. Listen, I like basketball. I love basketball. I'm not so much a team person per se as I am more of a player type person. I was with Miami Heat for a long time because I liked Dwayne Wade. But when Dwayne Wade retired, we retired. I got to be honest with you guys. We retired when that happened. I see a guy, Keep the Faith with Tonya in the building. She says, hey, I'm here. I'm glad that you're here. So good to have you here. And it always good to have you here. All right. I also see that we have Fanika George in the building. She said, hello, any updates of student loan forgiveness? Oh, wow. You know what? You are asking a question that I wish somebody could give me some clear answers on because I don't know. I haven't heard anything. It seems like we're waiting for something to come down from the Supreme Court. I don't even know how it looks for us at this point. I'm really disappointed. I feel like they got so many people ready to have some forgiveness to get a portion of that loan debt broken down, taken off of their back, off of their shoulders. And then we had a hater who had to come in, and haters gonna hate. But imagine there are people in a person who felt like, okay, well, I'm not getting anything back, or I'm not getting any forgiveness, so no one should get it. And it makes me wonder, what kind of mindset does a person have to think that way? There are so many people who will benefit from this, but because I individually or you individually may not benefit from it, you feel like it shouldn't be done. That is an incredible selfishness, an incredible level of hateration that I've never sipped from. So I don't get it. I don't get it. And I definitely don't think that we should still be here and kind of waiting around to find out. And I don't know necessarily that the Supreme Court is going to be on our side. We're watching so much happen in politics right now until the things that we think make sense, they no longer make sense. They don't. We've got people in offices that just, quite honestly, should not be there. We need to reconsider term limits in every realm of politics at this point, including judgeships. We do. We really, really do. Somebody needs to say it. Somebody needs to look out here and realize it because we've got people who are making decisions and they're really quite selfish. People are making decisions because they're being bought. They're receiving gifts. And that's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be in here doing stuff for the betterment of the entire nation, what's going to work for us. It's not happening that way. It's not. I don't know. I tell you, you asked a very, she asked a very good question. Fanika George asked us if there are any student loan forgiveness updates. And if somebody has any information that I don't know about, come and share that with us because I don't know. I don't know, but I certainly hope that by the end of June we should know. And as far as the update that I do have, I think we were looking for something to come down from the Supreme Court in late June. So I think we got a few weeks or at least a month or so to figure that part out. I see Fanika here saying, how will the debt dealing issue affect us? What does our community stand to lose at the local level? Now, I want to make sure that I am understanding your question. How will the debt dealing issue affect us? Well, I tell you what, we know how it will help people. And if that is what you mean, how will it affect us? Because it's going to allow people to be able to get some of that debt off of them, you know? Oh, you're talking about the debt ceiling. Okay. Wow. You got some questions in here. She says she's speaking on the debt ceiling. You know what? Again, once again, politics. The people that we have in office right now, the people we are who are responsible for making a lot of these decisions. It goes back to kind of how I feel about what's coming down with student loan forgiveness. So many people are bought. So many politicians are bought. They're not really thinking about you. They're not really thinking about us. They're not. Same. I feel the same way about that, you know? And as politics goes, we can't just think about it on a federal level, on the national level. It's certainly, we have to think about politics on our local level as well. We have to pay attention to the people that we're putting in offices such as council seats. We got to think about people who we're putting in office as it relates to school boards. You've got to think about who you may be putting in your local sheriff's office. We have to. We've got to really look at politics and figure out, like, okay, well, who's buying these people out? Why are they making the decisions that they're making? Why is the people's voice not really the voice that is being listened to? That's what we got to do. You asked some very good questions. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, Fanika, as it pertains to the very questions you asked. What are your thoughts? You know, what do you think? How do you feel like our community will be affected by the issues of the debt ceiling? So put that in and let me know. I'm very curious. There's just so many things that just does not make sense to me. Like I said, and as it relates, I got to go back to your student loan question because that's one that it affects so many people, and particularly young people who are just fresh out of school, who are looking to start their lives. They're beginning their careers. They're looking to start families and have homes, and they just can't afford it because that debt is like the first thing in their face. And you would think that anybody would say, okay, you know what? Let's take some of it off. Let's allow these young people to get a head start in life. And especially the people who know that they had one and have one. And so you're upset because someone else is getting a little break. And I'm not being funny, but $20,000 for a lot of these students is still not a lot of money. It's not. It's barely scratching the surface for so many people. But we can't deny that it is a help. And we can't deny that there will be a number of people that 20,000 would take them completely out of their debt. And so they can work on something else. They can put that towards something else, perhaps a home, perhaps beginning to save, because that's important. I see. Fanika also said, I saw a potential cut in Social Security. And that's a huge issue because, listen, folks who are receiving Social Security, a lot of the times, if they are receiving it, it's because a lot of people don't, within that, uh, the elderly who are receiving Social Security SSI, a lot of the times they don't have other retirement plans in place, or they didn't. And that's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. It's an entire conversation that we could have, and we could ask, well, how did they get there and why are they there? You could ask that. But if we have a system that they have paid into and they happen to be where they haven't had any savings, well, I feel like it's a great system. And it's not a lot of money that they're receiving anyway. I don't even know how a lot of elderly people are surviving on Social Security, and particularly the ones who are only getting Social Security alone. It's not a lot of money, people. It isn't. They have to do some incredible budgeting, and sometimes some things that they need they're not able to get because they can't afford it. That's why these programs are out here. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't. But people can barely survive on that. And to think that there could be a potential cut, that's scary. I see Fanika also says here too many elderly can't work, don't get enough to pay bills, get meds, or put food on the table. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Even with SSI, they're still not able to meet some of their very basic needs. So, how could we even consider cutting that? Why would that even be a consideration? Doesn't make sense. Somebody make that make sense to me. Nobody's been able to make that make sense. Not at all. Not at all. Let's make it make sense. Monday. Yes, we're diving into your thoughts. We're having mindful discussions about anything that you want to discuss. Thoughtful conversations right now, today, on the Noontime My Time podcast. Your conversations are taking the center stage. So I invite you to bring your thoughts. Bring your thoughts. Bring your topics. Whatever matters most to you. That's what we want to do. Ask those burning questions. You can ask me what I feel about it. I'm willing to tell you what I feel. What I feel is not right. What I feel is not necessarily, it might not be what people want to hear, but I don't know. You have to ask me the question, and I have to tell you how I feel about it. And we can have a conversation. That's what it is. That's what it's about. So, what y'all been doing out here today? How have you guys been enjoying your weekend? Some people tell me some of that. I like that you are bringing some very political questions into the house here, Fanika. Some things that people do need to think about. They need to be thinking about, or trying to find out what's going on with some of the student loan forgiveness, find out what's going on with the debt ceiling and Social Security. I see Fanika here also. She's saying the housing authority does the bare minimum for the elderly residents. They're making up rules as they go along. Are they changing out the whole staff in Florence? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, see, that's something that I'm not aware of. So I'm glad that you brought that to my attention. I'm glad that you brought that to our attention because this is our conversation. This is a conversation with me. This is a conversation with the listeners. This is a conversation right here in this chat. Everything that goes on in this chat is a conversation, and we want to make sense of it. So Fanika brings a question up, and I don't know who has answers for that. But if someone does, come on in the chat and let us know. And if you don't know, now we've got something that you need to make sense of, and we need to get on and we need to find out. So it seems that she's asking, are they changing out the whole staff in Florence County? I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. But I certainly know that we need to do what we can. A good people, a good culture of people who are going to take care of their elderly We need to be doing that. That should be on our list. We take care of our kids. We got to take care of our elderly. We should. Thanks for that. Thanks for putting that out there so that we can be aware of what's going on, because I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it, and it really hasn't been on my radar. But you've got me curious. You definitely have me curious. All right. I see Fanika says here that the executive director was terminated. Board director was removed from office. Both are suing along with former employees. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? The executive director was terminated. Board member was removed from office, and both are suing along with former employees. Now, I don't know. I don't know. This is something that, and if we're going to be fair, is this in the newspaper? Is this on the news? Where is this information coming from? So at this point, I have to say allegedly, they've got some issues going on in their office. Allegedly, they've got some things going on. The executive director has been terminated, board member removed. Former employees are suing. Who knows about this? Who knows? Because I got to tell you something. The newspaper and the media, and particularly on this local level here, is so small. Not many people are, I'm even watching how the newspaper continues to shrink. It really is. I don't know what's going on with that. I see we've got Les Eccles. He said it's all out there. It's public info. Okay. Okay. So it's out here, guys. It's out here. They were supposed to demolish Creekside Apartments because of mold, but they have changed to just renovate the building instead. Listen, you guys are letting me know something. Bring that information in. We really want to know that. And you say that both issues were on the news? And see, I'm not even watching the news a lot of the times. And I've just got to tell you, I've made myself stop watching the news for a while, because I was just tired of so much bad information coming to me. But that's a very tricky line to walk, because I got to be informed. I need to be informed. And that's why I like having these type of conversations, because if there's something that I don't know and someone can bring it to my attention, if we can talk about it, then that lets me know what I need to be up on. That lets us know what we need to be taking, keeping track of. We need to do that, because I didn't know any of this. So you guys are letting me know that it's public information that is out here. Now, as it relates to what you're talking about in respect to mold being in the apartments, well, we know the dangers of mold. We all know the dangers of mold. So I don't know what they got going on over there. I don't know what they're doing, but we know that mold is very, very dangerous. I don't know what they could be doing. If it was bad enough to demolish, well, there had to be a reason for why someone felt that should be done, and they've changed to think that they could renovate. I don't know what plans they're using to renovate, how they're going about that. I don't know, but thank you for bringing that to our attention. We need to know that. Somebody needs to be on that and figuring that out. I also see, Fanika says, if you look at YouTube on the Housing Authority of Florence, you can see the board of directors meetings. So y'all hear that? If you're interested in finding out what's going on with the Housing Authority of Florence, if you happen to be in Florence County, they have their board of directors meetings on YouTube. So you can do that. You can do that. Thanks for letting people know that. They moved several residents to other counties or put them in motels. We don't know when that assistance will run out or if they'll be moved back to Florence. Wow. Okay. Okay. She also comes to say that over 30 apartments had mold. It should have been demolished, not renovated. I agree with you. Mold is a very tricky thing. Mold is that's not healthy, and that is what I'm saying is really an understatement. To say that mold is not healthy is really an understatement. I don't know if they want to get into what that does to people's health. I think there's a larger issue if they're not going to if they're not going to put these people in places where they can breathe, because at the very least, in your home, in your place of residence, where you rest your head, at the very least, you need to be able to breathe clean air. You have to be able to breathe clean air. When we were going through, not so long ago, when we were looking at a lot of these schools that were dealing with issues with molding and mold in the dormitories and in their housing, the same way we felt about that is the same way that we feel about this particular issue. You cannot live in mold. You cannot. At the very least, the place where you rest your head, where you live, you need to be able to breathe clean air. It's making people sick. That will kill you. It will cause diseases. People can't live like that. I'm gonna go to the website, like you said, and I'm gonna look this up here because this isn't anything that I knew about. I can't. There are 24 hours in a day, 24 of them. And I choose to do different things in those hours. And I certainly wouldn't be able to watch and know everything that is going on around me, but that is why I want to have this particular space so that we can have these conversations so persons like you can bring this information to us. That is what this is for. Make this make sense. Make it make sense. This is exactly what something like this is about. Why I'm here. Make it make sense to me why they decide not to demolish apartments for mold and they decide to renovate. Make that make sense. Who can make that make sense for us? Who can make that make sense? It doesn't even sound logical. We know the answers to this. We know the answers, but what is being done, I don't know, because like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this issue. This is your conversation. This is a conversation that you all are having in the chat. It's the Noontime My Time podcast. It's Make It Make Sense Monday. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, people. Anybody out here who is watching some basketball right now? Anybody watching basketball? Anybody watching Miami and the Boston Celtics? Who out here? Who out here is watching that and can make some sense of that? What is going on and can you make it make sense? What's going on with this tournament? What's going on with this matchup? How did we get here? Somebody let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Hey, Fanika is out here. She throwing it all on the wall for y'all today. She said, y'all don't have anything. Y'all don't want to put something in the chat. I got something that I need some people to make sense. Let me put it up here because she's coming in here with it. She's coming in here with it. She said parents should have spoken up about the rebuilding of the new North Vista rather than moving them out to put Williams there. Now, see, this is one that I need somebody to make sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what they're doing. I've asked this question. I said, well, how did this happen? Why is this happening? What was the reasoning behind this? Does anybody know why they're moving North Vista into a new school instead of building a new Williams? Does anyone know that? Because North Vista had, as far as I'm concerned, North Vista is a new school. Why would they take an elementary school and turn it into a middle school? Does anyone know? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but what was the reasoning behind it that was put out there for, like, okay, well, this is a decision that has been made clearly by, the school board, but does anyone know why they decided to make that decision? I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. You asking the right questions. Y'all make it make sense. Somebody come and make us talk to her. Vanika asking you. Why? Parents should have. They should have. Were the parents' hands tied? Did the parents not? Were there not parents who had anything to say about it? Ultimately, where did the decision lie? Who got to make that final decision? Who got to make that final decision? I don't know. There's so much that I don't know. There's so much that I don't know. Somebody let me know. That's why we're having this conversation. Tell me. Thank you for putting the information out here. Can we find out? Yes, we can. We can and we should. Let's make it make sense Monday. Noontime My Time podcast. Here where we are engaged in conversation. Ask a question. If there's something that doesn't make sense to you, ask that question. Not just here, but ask it where it needs to be asked. Ask it to the people who can give you the answers. Find out what your neighbor knows. Find out what we can do together. Let's see if Anika George says it's supposed to allow more room for more students. However, they should have just built the school the same size or bigger. Like, how is a 5 foot or 6 foot? I'm sorry, 6 foot or seven. I think this is would be eighth graders. Seventh or eighth graders going to use those restrooms. They're tiny. That's something to think about, guys. Make it make sense. How are 5 feet and 6 feet, sixth and seventh and eighth graders going to use restrooms in an elementary school that are tiny? They're built for elementary school students. That's a very good question. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. See, I was wondering why they didn't build a school for the middle school. I really wanted to know that. I did not understand why they would rebuild another North Vista, another elementary school. I don't know. I know that other middle schools were built in the city, and they got what they needed. They got the size of the school that they needed. So I don't know. I don't know what the issue is in this with this particular school. Y'all let me know. Tell me what it looked like. Tell me what it sounds like. Make it make sense. What you saying? What are you asking? What do you know? What do you want people to know? What conversation do you feel like people should be having? What do you want to bring to their attention? What should be brought to our attention? Make it make sense. We have to be mindful of our whole community. We do. But there's some things that we're going to know, and there's some things we're not going to know because we can't do everything. That's why when we come together in a collective, we've got more heads, we've got more conversation, we've got more ideas, so we can figure out more solutions and we can do things better. That's what it's about. I tell you guys what, I don't see anybody who actually has any answers here. So what I want to do is I want to tell you guys to make sure that you enjoy the rest of your holiday. the rest of your day off if you happen to be off. We certainly have some things that we need to think about, some things that are not making sense. And so the next time that we come here, can we make it make sense? Can you go and can you find out? Can you find out what's going on? I'm going to put up one last comment here before I get out of here. I see Fanika George says a lot of parents would watch their kids walk down North Vista Street and could still see the child till they come to an adult. Now they have to walk past the middle school to go to the new elementary school. They can't see them that way. Anything could happen. This is an alligator literally on campus. The other year, there was an alligator on campus. Wow. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. I like people who are asking the tough questions. Ask these tough questions. Who want to have these type of conversations? Yeah, well, it makes sense that parents could see their kids walk down the street, but obviously we know not all parents will be able to do that. So that was an advantage for them. It was. But as a parent, you take that next step and you make sure that your kid gets to where they need to be. So that's not going to be a driving issue for me. I'm sorry, it's not. Because you can take another step and make sure that you take that walk. But the whole idea of them moving middle school students into an elementary school and building another new elementary school, well, no, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. And Fanika said, thanks, MsTonya. And I tell you what, thank you, Fanika, because you've given us so many things that we need to think about, so many things that need to make sense. She asked some very good questions. What's going on with student loan forgiveness? What's going on with the debt ceiling? And in her specific county, she wanted to know what's going on with some of the schools and what's going on with decisions that are being made there, as well as the housing authority. You guys know? That's a lot. That was a lot. Keep It Faith Tori said, I was listening. This was great. She really put a lot out here for us to think about. This was really what Make It Make Sense Monday, the core of what I want Make It Make Sense Monday to be, and it is developing into. That's what we're here for. We're here for that conversation, for things that we're seeing that are making us scratch our head and say, this isn't making sense. Why is this going on? So if you just want to put your question out here, pose it out here so people can find out, so people can start questioning it and start looking into it. This is a space for it. That's what we're here for. All right. I want you guys to have a beautiful day. Like I said, I want you to enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. We are giving respect and honor to all of those who have served. They deserve at the very least this memory. And that's why we have Memorial Day. Right? That's what it's about. All right, guys? Before I get out of here, you know what I got to do? I got to make sure that we take that moment for ourselves. Take a little breath work. Breathe in when we come in. And we breathe out when we go out. Make sure you keep your mind balanced. Make sure you keep your health balanced. That's what we want to do. We want to be better people. We've got a lot here to leave with today. We've got some homework. So I want you to do your homework, do your community work. All right? But right now, let's breathe this thing out. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Now, don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. Right?